Hello to everyone, Vladimir Vlad, aka Bulgarian Cowboy speaking, and I'm also about to say something about the lovely match that is scheduled. So yeah, another match is scheduled. It's the clash between Marcus Perez and Alessio Di Chirico, and this is kind of good matchup for both fighters, because looking back at Marcus Perez, known under the name of Moloko, he is a brown belt in BJJ Black Pride in Muay Thai, so he's kind of reminded me on Wanderlei Silva, at that some aspects of fighting with the score of 12-3. He is a guy who lost 3 fights via decision, but he is also a guy who squared off Eric Anders, the guy I interviewed, and Eric Anders said it was a tough fight, but he won it. So yeah, at UFC he has a score of 2-3 with victories over James Bochnovich and Anthony Hernandez, all via chokes. And in one of his earlier fights, he scored a spinning back elbow knockout, but majority of his wins came via submissions, just like every Brazilian fighter. He's a fantastic guy on the ground. He even won LFA middleweight championship by defeating Ian Heinisch via arm triangle choke. So it talks a lot on Marcus Perez. On the other side, Alessio Di Chirico is a tough Italian fighter, the guy who came at UFC with a score of 9-0, where he lost to Bojan Veličković, defeated Garrett McClellan, lost to Eric Spicy, defeated Olagala Bosse and Julian Marquez, then lost to decisions via Kevin Holland and Mahmoud Muradov, despite I believe he won Kevin Holland, despite I believe the judges were very much unfair towards him, but he is on a 2-0 losing streak, and this is a must-win situation for both of the fighters, because whoever loses this fight is probably not going to get his UFC contract extended. But now let's talk about these fighters. Looking back at these lovely fighters, the first problem here might be the fact that these are two different types of fighters. Marcus Perez is a ground guy, very, very good ground guy with solid striking, but Alessio Di Chirico has better striking. Looking back at his performance, he was kind of lazy against Kevin Holland, despite Kevin Holland was injured. But I believe Alessio Di Chirico hasn't showed his full potential. So, if Alessio Di Chirico steps up, shifts into sixth chair, things might change. He might win Marcus Perez, but he has to stay away from ground game. He has to do the same like he did against Kevin Holland, but he just has to keep the fight standing. He shouldn't go against Marcus Perez on the ground, because Eric Anders did it with style and he defeated him. And it's kind of hard, nobody has ever finished Marcus Perez. On the other side, Alessio Di Chirico was finished by Eric Spicely, but he's also a tough dude, 3 decision losses. This is going to be a cardio war. This is going to be the war between two cardio machines. These guys have power. These guys are tacticians, and I expect a decision war. If Chirico stays away from ground game, he has the best chances to win the fight. But if Chirico decides to push this ground game, well, this might end up badly for him. You never know. So if the fight is on the ground, slight advantage to Marcus Perez, or big advantage. But if the fight is in the stand-up, I think Chirico has better chances if he steps up and if he fights the best he can.